I'm getting real 2004 vibes tonight, which is Democrats want to defeat an incumbent Republican so badly, Democratic voters I mean, that they decide which one is electable, and they decide, okay, it's John Kerry, or in this case, it's Joe Biden. There's a huge coalescing around that person. They want to end the primary process as soon as possible, and then basically they coronate this person.
What presidents say matter.
Well, I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate.
The case where we cannot let this, we've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health.
The fact of the matter is, I'm awfully sophisticated about why, how, and who built this country. Let me say this simply and clearly.
Joe Biden is now the presumptive Democratic nominee. Nobody really chose Biden for this job. He wound up in it by a series of defaults, and it shows.
Saks or Benettons or Nike or whatever in the market, in their places where the malls. You want any part of this campaign? Pick up your phones. Pick up your phone now. Send a text to the word United, to the number 30330. I took on Putin in terms of Iraq. In terms of what was going on in Ukraine.
Well, he is of a certain age, so it's possible that a level of dementia has set in. But I agree, listening to him does not instill confidence in me as a citizen, as a healthcare worker, and I do not look for him for someone who's going to get us through not only this pandemic, but just the future to come.
But that old expression, the proof of is going to be in eating the pudding. What's it going to look like? I listened to the scientists. A convention having tens of thousands of people in one arena is very different than having people walk into a polling booth with accurate spacing to 6 to 10 feet apart, one at a time, going in and have machines scrubbed down. But I do think there are going to be a lot more. I think you could hold the election as well, dealing with mail-in ballots and same-day registration. There's a lot of things that can be done. That's for the Wisconsin courts and folks to decide. But I think it's possible to do both, to have both more mail-in ballots. People, and today is the last day, I guess, till 5 o'clock to ask for one. There's an hour time difference from where I am in Wisconsin. And I think it could be done based on what I've been hearing from the news and what I understand the governor and others are saying. But that's for them to decide.
The reason I did what I'm doing is because there's an invasion of Hispanics. Donald Trump does pose an extra threat to this. It's not hypothetical. They're not national assets.
Joe Biden actually just attacked you in a tweet. He said Donald Trump is not responsible for the coronavirus, but he is responsible for failing to prepare our nation to respond to it. How do you respond to that, sir?
He didn't write that. That was done by a Democrat operative. He doesn't write. He's probably not even watching right now. And if he is, he doesn't understand what he's watching.
Kinds of things that have to be done. There's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it the World War II. He had the War Production Board.
Among many qualified people, I'm the best qualified person for this job. And Lisa, you have been a great friend for a long time, and your Paul son is remarkable.
To keep that connection, because it's not just me, Joe. I'm sure everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's doing the same thing, and we gotta. It's just, but you gotta. We gotta reassure. Look, here, my message to everybody I talk to is we have to make sure everyone has access to maintain affordable health insurance coverage. We should be making it easier, not harder, to make sure to make sense to, you know, I'll put it another way. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. By making sure that we're in a position that we, in fact, allow people. Time's up.
But the point is that when you have the Democratic electorate deciding that they are all a bunch of Rachel Maddows and Chris Hayes and the like, that they're just, you know, progressive pundits and they're going to pick out who is the best one, maybe they don't necessarily always know what they're doing.